In the shadows of Marvel's universe, a figure emerges. A mastermind whose cunning knows no bounds and whose thirst for power is unquenchable. Meet Sebastian Shaw, a name that sends shivers down the spines of heroes and villains alike. As the longtime Black King of the infamous Hellfire Club, Shaw wields a potent combination of business acumen and mutant abilities that sets him apart from his peers. While some may think they know Shaw from his silver screen portrayal in X-Men First Class, the truth is far more intricate. Behind this simple-looking exterior is a character with depths that remain largely unexplored. In this episode, we will look into the very physiology of Shaw. Let's get cracking. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Protecting your fellow mutants?
What kind of energy does he absorb? In the long list of superhuman abilities, there are few as fatal as Sebastian Shaw's power of energy absorption. This unique gift grants him the uncanny ability to absorb kinetic energy, transforming it into a wellspring of enhanced physical strength, speed, and stamina. Each blow that lands upon him becomes a source of empowerment, making him an incredibly daunting opponent in battle. It's not just punches that fuel Shaw's might. He can absorb the energy from various sources, including projectiles such as bullets. While his affinity for kinetic energy is most potent, he can also tap into other forms of energy, albeit to a lesser extent. Electricity and energy beams are not beyond his grasp, offering him an additional advantage when confronted with such assaults. Sebastian Shaw's abilities have undergone a secondary mutation, a power that amplifies his already mind-bending energy absorption capabilities. This remarkable evolution grants him the capacity to absorb ambient energy that surrounds him. With this augmentation, Shaw possesses the ability to redirect this absorbed energy, unleashing devastating blasts and waves upon his adversaries. Without the absorption of energy, Shaw reverts to being a strong yet ordinary human. However, he diligently maintains his power reserves at a superhuman level, employing a unique ritual of striking a wall upon waking up every morning to ensure a massive arsenal of strength. It is worth noting that Shaw's energy absorption is not limited solely to kinetic energy, as many would assume. To overcome Shaw's invigorating prowess, unorthodox strategies and unconventional means are often required. Attacks that immobilize him or target him on a psionic level have proven to be more effective. Can Sebastian Shaw harness the Phoenix Force? In the world of energy absorption, where Sebastian Shaw's powers take center stage, let's look into some interesting and informative tales that shed light on the extent of his remarkable abilities. Picture this: a moment in time when Gambit charges Shaw with his kinetic energy, and Shaw absorbs it like he is chugging a beer. Now, it's true that Gambit's power is predominantly described as kinetic energy, and one might argue that point. But here's another instance. Shaw absorbs a devastating blast from Holocaust, clearly harnessing its power. This blast, my friends, is not just any energy. It is plasma energy, ruling out the possibility of Shaw simply absorbing kinetic energy in this remarkable feat. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Shaw himself has revealed that his energy absorption knows no bounds. As we've already seen, he can actually absorb various forms of energy, far beyond the realm of kinetic. However, there's a catch. Shaw's mutation has a peculiar affinity for kinetic energy, allowing for an instant conversion and immediate effects on his enhanced abilities. Hence, it has become his preferred method of amplification. But therein lies the challenge. His body doesn't convert other forms of energy as rapidly, rendering him more vulnerable to powerful energy blasts than to physical punches or strikes from his opponents. Storm, in her icy glory, has showcased this vulnerability, subjecting Shaw to freezing temperatures on a couple of occasions. Moreover, lightning and electricity present an even more intriguing aspect of Shaw's limitations. It's safe to assume that the raw energy produced by the Phoenix is way beyond what Storm can manipulate with her weather control, unless Storm were to channel the energy in a controlled manner, facilitating Shaw's absorption and conversion. It's highly improbable that he could endure a direct blast unscathed. It all boils down to the transfer of energy in a controlled fashion. Now, the exact thresholds of Shaw's resilience have never been explicitly defined, yet there are instances where lesser forms of energy, compared to the might of the Phoenix Force, have either knocked him out cold or severely impaired him. So, unless the energy is administered to him under controlled circumstances, I'm inclined to say it's a resounding no. Can he reproduce? In Sebastian Shaw's life, the question arises, can he leave behind a legacy through reproduction? The answer is yes. and it lies in the story of his son, Shinobi Shaw. A woman entangled in romantic affairs with both Sebastian Shaw and Harry Leland discovered she was pregnant. She confided in Sebastian, leading him to believe that the child was his own. Thus, Shinobi Shaw spent the majority of his life as Sebastian's illegitimate son, mixed with their complex family dynamics. Sebastian Shaw, a tycoon in the world of business-minded supervillainy, found a kindred spirit in his son. However, as time passed, Shinobi's love for his father twisted into a deep-seated hatred. In a game shrouded in uncertainty, orchestrated by the upstarts, Shinobi cunningly seized control of Sebastian's corporate empire, seemingly bringing an end to his father's life. Shinobi, wielding his destiny-altering powers and financial shrewdness, relentlessly pursued the X-Men and their allies, leaving a trail of chaos in his wake. Yet the story takes a surprising turn as Sebastian Shaw defies death itself, returning from the shadows to confront his wayward heir. Their paths now cross in Krakoa, the mutant sanctuary, where father and son coexist in a complex of emotions and unresolved conflicts.
3.
The Coin Conundrum. In the 2011 film X-Men First Class, the climactic moment unfolds as Magneto confronts Sebastian Shaw. The scene is a gripping display of power, as Magneto takes matters into his own hands, or rather, his command of magnetism. Using his incredible abilities to manipulate metal, Magneto seizes a seemingly harmless Nazi coin and imbues it with kinetic energy. With a swift and precise movement, he propels the coin towards Shaw, piercing through his skull with devastating force. You may wonder, with Shaw's remarkable powers of energy absorption, how is it that he is unable to save himself from this fate? The answer lies in the intricate dynamics at play. Just as a person can be physically restrained, inhibiting their ability to move freely, Shaw finds himself at the mercy of Professor Xavier's telepathic control. In this pivotal moment, Xavier's powerful mind enters Shaw's consciousness, exerting dominance over his thoughts and actions. In a state of helplessness, Shaw is rendered powerless, unable to utilize his abilities to absorb the immense kinetic energy of the coin. As the coin hurtles towards him, Shaw can only bear witness to his own demise, frozen in horror. It is worth noting the intensity of the scene, as Xavier's emotional reaction is palpable. His screams echo the torment he experienced, intimately connected to Shaw's mind and feeling every sensation. This adds additional proof that Xavier had complete control over Shaw's mind and body. Does he have a healing ability? Sebastian Shaw possesses a remarkable regenerative healing factor, a power that grants him the ability to swiftly recover from injuries. His extraordinary healing capabilities have been demonstrated on numerous occasions, such as when he endured a series of powerful blows to the nose from the mighty Colossus. Astonishingly, within the span of less than an hour, Shaw's regenerative abilities were able to mend the damage, restoring his nose to its original state. However, it is important to note that Shaw's regenerative healing factor does have its limitations. While he can rapidly heal from a variety of injuries, there are certain catastrophic wounds that even his powers cannot overcome. Devastating injuries, such as a direct blast to the head or a broken neck, surpass the threshold of his regenerative abilities, rendering them ineffective in such extreme circumstances. How powerful is Sebastian Shaw? So far, we are well aware of energy absorption and instant healing abilities. Let's take a look at a couple of more astonishing capabilities of Sebastian Shaw's extraordinary powers. First on our list is Shaw's advanced metabolism, which grants him the ability to forego sleep under special circumstances. Shaw stays wide awake for long periods by absorbing kinetic energy, usually through intense beatings from his loyal mercenaries, which helps him build up the energy reserves he needs. Now that's one hell of a power nap. Shaw's durability is equally impressive. While he can still feel the impact of physical force, his powers kick in to turn potential devastating cuts into nothing more than superficial scratches. With a touch, he drains the cutting and thrusting energy from blades, leaving them as harmless as a toothless lion. Enemies often find themselves underestimating Shaw's true resilience until they've futilely pounded on him one too many times. It's like trying to punch a mattress. Frustrating and ineffective, but that ain't all. Shaw's strength is nothing short of astonishing when he's properly energized. He can lift and support a weight of up to a staggering 100 times his own. Should he find himself bound, he possesses the uncanny ability to endure punches from a teammate until he gathers enough strength to break free from the constraints. By skillfully taunting his opponents, he not only adds insult to injury, but also entices them to attack him, allowing him to reveal his true strength. Speed becomes Shaw's ally once he has absorbed enough kinetic energy. With a burst of power coursing through his veins, he can move and strike at lightning-fast speeds, leaving opponents bewildered and unable to react in time. It's a breathtaking display of agility and quickness, and let's not forget about his enhanced stamina, which surpasses that of an ordinary human. Once Shaw absorbs kinetic energy, his endurance soars to extraordinary levels, allowing him to keep fighting with unwavering intensity. Shaw's incredible powers received an additional boost through a secondary mutation. This newfound ability revolves around the conversion of ambient kinetic energy, eliminating the need for excessive physical activity to build up his power reserves. The energy he absorbs can be harnessed and unleashed in various ways. Shaw can release the stored energy as blasts, wreaking havoc on his surroundings with devastating force. Additionally, he can channel the absorbed energy into concussive blasts, capable of throwing even a magnetic mastermind like Magneto off balance. And if that wasn't enough, Shaw can infuse his fists with raw dynamic force, bolstering his melee attacks to an uncertain yet undoubtedly fatal degree. Is he immortal? Sebastian Shaw, a notorious villain in the Marvel Universe, has always been a thorn in the side of the X-Men. Despite being given a chance at redemption during the Krakoa era, Shaw couldn't resist the allure of power. In a desperate bid to gain control over Kate Pryde's branch of the Hellfire organization, Shaw resorted to assassinating her. However, his plan failed, and he faced brutal punishment. Now, facing the imminent threat of Judgment Day, Shaw finds himself contemplating his actions. With only 24 hours remaining, he realizes the gravity of the situation. In an unexpected turn, Shaw volunteers to represent Krakoa in a meeting with the recently liberated Star Fox. He hopes to find common ground and possibly even sacrifice mutant immortality for the greater good. Intriguingly, Shaw decides to go a step further. He performs a ritual previously employed by Selene, who is currently deceased, to establish contact with the enigmatic Mother Righteous, who appears to have demonic associations. Shaw strikes a deal with her, seeking true immortality in exchange for his services if the Earth manages to survive the impending Judgment Day. Does he have any weaknesses? Sebastian Shaw, despite all his powers, does have weaknesses that can be exploited by his opponents. One limitation of his abilities is that they can be overloaded by a sudden surge of power. If Shaw is subjected to a barrage of superhumanly strong punches, for example, it can overwhelm his energy absorption and render him vulnerable. Another tactic to defeat Shaw is to focus on immobilizing him without delivering powerful strikes. While Shaw can sap the kinetic energy from attacks, he can still be crushed by the weight of heavy objects, unless he is strong enough to lift or stop them. In one instance, Rogue defeated Shaw by simply picking him up and throwing him high into the atmosphere, effectively removing him from the battle. There is also an upper limit to the amount of energy Shaw can absorb and convert. When he was overloaded by electrical energy discharged by Storm, he fell into a temporary coma. The precise extent of this limit remains unknown and could potentially be exploited by his adversaries. Additionally, Shaw's secondary mutation, obtained through the Mothervine enhancement process, comes with instability. This secondary mutation causes him to drain energy not only from kinetic sources, but also from other types of energy. This energy drain, including the bioenergy from his own cells, leads to accelerated aging and bodily deterioration.
Embrace it.
Marvelous verdict. In conclusion, Sebastian Shaw is an intriguing blend of extraordinary abilities and inherent vulnerabilities. As a mutant with the power of energy absorption and manipulation, Shaw possesses some incredible abilities. These attributes make him a deserving opponent against the X-Men. Sebastian Shaw's unique anatomy showcases the delicate balance between extraordinary power and vulnerability that exists within the mutant world. It highlights the complexities of mutant physiology, reminding us that even the most godlike individuals possess weaknesses that can be exploited. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.